Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Apocrypha. A couple of things before we get started with this game. We are missing Alex tonight, other Alex, or the not other Alex, depending on your perspective.
Depending on which Alex you are.
But we miss you, buddy, and we will see you back next time. Otherwise, everyone else is here. Couple of announcements. We have a new campaign that's going to be starting on Thursday called Tidefall. It's going to be run by Lindsay. I don't want to put you on the spot, Lindsay. Do you want to say anything about it, promoting it?
It's going to be great. There are going to be 6 players and me, and we're going to have adventures. That's all.
Okay. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't yet, make sure you go over to the Twitters and look at the most recent tweets we have. We've got a thread of character art that are not character art, character bios, kind of character introductions that we are currently putting onto Twitter for all of your perusal, and you can look at that and guess who's going to be playing who. They've been great so far, and I can't wait to see the rest. Otherwise, check that out on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is when we're going to be starting, and look forward to seeing you all there. Otherwise, the only other bit of news we have is this Saturday we are going to be postponing Survivors Complex. We're still going to play during that time slot. Still working out the details on that. I don't want to commit to anything right now because we got a couple of things to work out. But we're going to be doing a one-shot or something during that time. And it's still going to be fun, so still come check us out on our normal 5:30 Eastern time slot. But we are going to pick up the Survivors Complex story a week from this Saturday. So check us out there, which I know is thrilling considering where we left off. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch it on YouTube later this week. Otherwise, I think that's basically it. We have Wild Space picking up next Monday, and everything that you've missed will be up on YouTube this Wednesday. I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. Now, I think last time we decided to start with the, and I want to do it again this way. We're gonna start with the kind of housekeeping stuff, so we don't jump in and then stop right away. So, a couple of things before we get started. Let's go ahead and do. So everybody spends barter. Make sure you deduct that. But while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and do the hex thing. So let's go first. I'm going to go right to left this time because I feel like it's always the same left to right. So I'll start with Garrett. Who does Garrett have the highest history with?
That would be Tesla.
All right, Tesla. What do you want to highlight for Garrett?
Cool.
All right. I'll highlight hard.
Cool.
Like an ice cube.
And next will be Solomon.
I got a tie, Leopold and Garrett.
All right, each of you can pick one.
Sharp.
With everything that's happening, I want to do hard because I want Solomon to go crazy on someone.
Crazy on you. Let's go with Birdie next.
My highest hexes are Tesla and Leopold.
All right, each of you pick one. Makes my job a lot easier.
Tesla, you go first.
Weird.
I feel like I need to keep the chain up of hot, but I'm gonna break that combo and go hard.
Cool.
All right. Tesla.
It's Birdie.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Cool.
And I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Hard again. And last is Leo.
All right. Solomon has the highest hex.
I want weird.
All right, and I'll do. You know what? I'm just gonna go across the board. I'm gonna say Hard.
Okay, lots of black dogs today.
It's like he's trying to tell us something.
Maybe I'm trying to push things a direction, but we'll see. All right, so that's the hex thing. Any other groundkeeping? I'm debating whether Solomon gets his roll.
I assumed no.
Yeah. I'm going to say your rule is relatively unchallenged by the people inside your hold right now, but there's some stuff going on. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and forego that today, but you do get to still do your your favorite daddy's favorite move at the beginning, because you're still in charge. So
Oh, that's right. I didn't throw that in yet. Hold on, let me. Custom moves. Oh, there's. Wait. Do I have to roll something? No, I don't have to roll anything.
This is the one. Yeah, this is the custom move. You get to. I'll read for the chat in case anybody forgotten, because it's a custom thing. At the start of each session, whoever wears the crown has barter to spare. At their discretion, they can offer other PCs the barter they need to cover living expenses. Then you can choose whether you want to manipulate them as part of the offer.
Okay, so what is I don't necessarily need to get anything out of them, so I'll just keep it up.
Okay, so you're gonna divvy, so everybody gets their one barter for the session. So
yep.
Awesome. All right, so that will cover things. So let me go ahead and we'll jump right in, do a recap, and then go ahead and start. So last time on Apocrypha, last time we all met, the gang was trying to still root out the cause of the disruptions within the train yard, trying to figure out what the Black Dog gang was up to. We had Phoenix, who had made his way over to Longmire and had an interesting conversation with a fella named Elijah, who's a higher up in Black Dog's gang, and basically made Phoenix an offer saying that he could come, he and any others that wish to, could come to Black Dog's good graces and find forgiveness within the cathedral. However, some people would be left out of this deal. Tesla, Garrett, and Birdie being branded as traitors. Phoenix took this agreement and head back to the train yard. At the same time, Leo made his way over to Ford's farm, attempted to negotiate with the old man, trying to work out some differences that might be had and some issues they might be having with Black Dog's gang. Unfortunately, this did not go very well for Leo, led to a bit of a falling out between Ford and the train yard. As everyone reconvened at the train yard, we had some discussions on what to do next, eventually culminating in Solomon retiring to his quarters and having a bit of a nightmare, led to a sort of psychic surge within the compound, which everyone, or most everyone, was affected with. And at the conclusion of that, as you were all so rudely woken in the early hours of the morning, You all heard the sound of a noise none of you would be overtly familiar with, sound like an engine, something that the audience might be familiar with as the sound of a rotor on a plane. As you all looked outside and saw an object approaching through the sky, seeing a prop plane veering at a low altitude over the train yard, and as it buzzed overhead, as some of you emerged, some of you watching from the windows inside Solomon's quarters, you watched as a low, faint mist began to settle over the yard in its wake, as a nondescript red liquid nestled over the people of Solomon's train yard. But that's not where we're going to begin our session. We're going to begin our session about 8 months earlier, in a place not terribly far from Solomon's Hold. Across to the east, we pan over the dense forests and jungles there to a site yet unknown to our players and audience at this point. In a clearing or in a cleared out space in the center of Vakin, we pan over Black Dog's compound. You see there a sprawling site of white marble and stone. You see the ruins of dozens of buildings stacked and piled against each other, forming a shambled cluster of, or a fragmented wall around a large complex. The stone is ancient, cracked, but patched together with bits of metal repurposed by the survivors of this community. It's there that you see the rusted and ramshackled huts of the Black Dog's gang, all spread within a circular courtyard towards the southern edge of this thick stone wall. But the most prominent figure or feature of this complex is the immense structure that sits at the center of it, a matching white stone cathedral. You see the sporadic and mostly broken, but some intact pillars that hold up the exterior rooftop of this structure. This once beautiful cathedral, now ruined and cracked, stained green with vines that circle up the exterior of it. All pointed upwards towards a dome, which is half caved in. All along the exterior, you see the faint glistenings of gold, long kind of rusted and tarnished away, some pulled off by survivors that have made their way through here in the past. Standing on an equal spacing all along the exterior of this magnificent building, you see the ruins of statues that stand there, a few still remaining. Statues of stoic saints and angelic figures staring out over the canopies of the surrounding jungles. And it's here that the people of Black Dog's compound of the cathedral gather near the southern gates, as there is a bit of a commotion there. And you see, as the gates swing open or have been opened, a cluster of about 12 people come walking in, each one wearing kind of tattered brown or black garments, patched together from whatever bits of fabric they were able to sew or find. As each one walks through, they lower a hood, revealing simple survivors, scarred, gaunt, barely making it through this hostile landscape. As we pan over towards them, you watch as one figure lowers their hood, and you see a familiar young woman, slightly younger than she is now, as Tesla, with 2 ears, lowers her hood and walks through the gates. She turns behind her towards a sized figure that walks in a little bit slower, hunched over a bit, and timidly lowers a hood as well, as Birdie emerges too. Another figure approaches your group as you walk through the gates. A dark-skinned man, cornrow hair, dreaded and braided down the back, scars across his face and piercing blue eyes. You see the figure of Elijah as he walks across the courtyard with a smile on his face, approaches you, Tesla, and says, "Back so soon, Tesla. What's this you found out there?" And looks over to Birdie.
Well, a healer.
This true?
Near as I can tell.
What's your name, little one?
I kind of look over at Tesla and Birdie.
Birdie. It's a pleasure to meet you, Birdie. He holds out a hand towards you to shake. My name's Elijah.
Hello.
She's been through a lot.
Well, it's good that we found you out there. You're traveling one of the best we have. So you're you know medicine. You know how to fix people.
Yeah.
We haven't had someone like you here in some time. We could really use somebody like you. Are you looking to stay?
I look around and there are a bunch of people around, up and walking around.
Yeah, there are a lot of people up and moving around.
Yeah. I look at Tesla and I kind of look at everybody. Yeah, that sounds nice.
I gotta say that makes me happy, and I'm sure a lot of people here are going to be really happy to know that we have somebody that can. There are some people that I know you need to get settled in, and there are some people that you should probably look to if you're feeling up to it. And obviously, there's no rush.
Yeah.
But I think there's someone you need to meet before we do. He's going to be really happy to know you. Tesla, you come along too.
Okay.
And he kind of takes you, like walking beside you, and begins leading you through the this community, this sort of shanty town here. And it is, I mean, standing in it, it's overwhelming. This massive square, the black or grayish stone that surrounds this circular community of some ancient structure that has once existed here, and you can see this community built off of. You can see the tall walls kind of stretching up about 20 or 30 feet to the sides, and even broken off towards the top of structures that were probably once twice as tall as this. The people, as you walk through, smile at Elijah, and he warmly greets a few of them, and they all kind of eye you and staring at you, trying to get an idea of this stranger, not in a sort of menacing way, but the curiosity of the common folk. A few of them approach and talk to Elijah for a bit. He introduces you as Birdie and tells you, doesn't tell them much, but tells them that you're here looking for a place to stay. As you cross the courtyard here, it narrows and leads to a path where the walls kind of pinch inwards, and there is a straight road that leads to this massive cathedral, which seems to grow larger in perspective, realizing just how enormous the structure is. It takes you longer to get there than you originally anticipate, and as you approach the steps of it, you see the stonework stretching up close to 100 feet. Massive ancient pillars specked with vines and moss stretching ahead of you, and atop them these towering, intimidating stone statuaries of people in garments that you don't recognize, people you don't recognize, faded from age, but with some welcoming, some intimidating expressions upon their faces. And you enter the facility, and you enter through the open, tall doorways into the cathedral itself, and it's there that you are struck by the even amplified beauty of the interior. Above you, you see color. You see wonder and gold, again tarnished and broken with the age and the calamity that befell this land. But you see specked throughout the broken remnants and the pieces that have fallen down, and the holes in the ceiling where light pierces through. You see mosaics, you see murals of, again, similar beautiful winged figures fighting upon battlefields against hordes of hideous-looking entities, or standing wreathed in gold and beauty. And it's here that you see many people carrying on their daily lives, a small community of shops and other industry. This sort of town square within this cathedral. Again, walk through, people look at you, and you're led further and further back until you enter the large intersection beneath the dome, half crushed in, and the light piercing through, reflecting off the marble floors. And Elijah walks you forward towards the center of this area, where you see the broken pews that have been repurposed as sitting areas, some trees breaking up through the broken floors. At the center, there is still an altar. And standing there's a few groups of simple-looking people having conversations. And Elijah approaches one of them. A man that is, or a tall figure that is kneeling down and speaking to a child. He waits a second. The figure looks back. Elijah beckons him to follow, and they walk towards you. You see a tall man, probably close to 6.5 feet tall, thin build but with broad shoulders, has short hair and a neck and hands that are scarred. He has soft and sad-looking eyes. I sort of, if you want sort of a modern picture of him, frame of like a thinner, like Joel Kinnaman, is sort of the way that he kind of looks, and sort of gangly, but a handsome man, and but again with this sort of sadness to him. And as he walks across to you, Elijah introduces him and says, "Birdie, this is John." And the man approaches and says, "Elijah tells me that your name is Birdie, right? Yeah. It's a pleasure. It's truly a pleasure to meet you. As Elijah said, my name is John. I'm the leader of this community. Some people call me Black Dog, but you can call me whatever you wish. It's lovely to have you here.
Thanks.
Do you need anything? Anything that comes to mind? Anything that I can get for you?"
Some water would be nice.
Of course. Elijah, do you think? And he says, "I'm on it." And he quickly heads off to get some water for you. He says, "Please, let's sit. Let's talk for a bit." And he motions for you to come sit down on one of the stone pews that's been set off near the altar. And he says, Tessa, you're free to join us if you like, if you don't have other business that you need to tend to.
Birdie, you want me to stay?
Mhm.
She's been through a lot.
I can see that. Of course, if you feel comfortable with Tesla here, I can't think of a better person to protect you while you're within our community. Not that you need protecting in any way. We look out for our own here.
I'll sit next to her.
He says, well, I guess Tesla, you can tell me if you wish, but how did you come across Birdie, and why were you out there alone?
I don't rightly think she wants to talk about it.
That's perfectly acceptable. We all have our own stories, and as I said, you're free to your privacy here if you wish it, and we'll give you anything that you need. I have to say, I'm delighted to have another healer within our community, somebody that can, well, I guess I should say this. I consider myself a bit of a healer as well, not of the body, but of the spirit. At least that's what I endeavor to do here. And I have to say, I know more than any how connected those two parts of a person can be, and having you here means the world to me and to anyone else that resides here. Do you have any questions for me?
You have a space, maybe where she can get set up, sort of set up shop.
Of course. And at this time, Elijah begins to come back, and he has a small sort of canteen of water. She hands to John, or Black Dog, and who hands it over to you, and says, I can think of a place for her right away. Why don't we walk there together? I think I have a perfect spot that you could stay and be comfortable, and might be able to have some space should you decide to take up any sort of medical practice here as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he begins walking with you back out the way that you came. And he says, I do what I can here to tend to the morale of the people that trust me and trust to live within this community. There are, as I'm sure you know, dangers out there. People that do whatever they can to survive, and unfortunately resort to unsavory and, well, quite frankly, evil tactics to accomplish those things. Now, I'm not saying that we're without fault here. We do what we can to survive too. But, well, I'm prattling on a bit because I know that the importance of having somebody like you within this community. As much as I tend to the morality, or the morals and the spirit of those that reside within this community, those afflictions of the spirit, the illness, disease, violence, they wear on a person. And having somebody like you, well, I guess that makes it all a bit easier. Again, I'm putting you on the spot here, and I understand that.
I want to help.
I'm glad. I want you to help too, and I want to help you as well. And eventually, he sort of leads you out of the cathedral and down towards the sort of where most people are situated, but just towards the edge, there is sort of a larger shack there. A more sturdy building. Looks like it probably had some sort of purpose before, and as he leads you towards it, says, this building has been used in some time. We once, many years ago, had a doctor here that used it as a place to treat. Unfortunately, he passed, and there was nobody to take on his position. Since I have been leader, we haven't had somebody to make use of this building. We'll have to clear it out a bit, but I think this might suit your needs. As he says that, the kind of graying skies overhead, a slight kind of rain begins to come down just lightly on the community, and people begin to rush to their respective huts. And he sort of stands out and looking up at the sky, looking back to you. He says, "A good omen. Wash everything clean. I always enjoy walking in the rain. I'll leave you to your business."
Thank you, John.
But of course, if you need anything else, you know where to find me. Tesla, good work. He turns away from you and begins walking away, stopping occasionally to speak with one of the people that going into the huts. And as the two of you stand out there, looking around at the sky and seeing this new kind of home that you have, Birdie, the rain begins to settle, and the setting sun begins to glint off it in the refracted colors of the sunset, eventually settling on a shade of red. And as the rain falls, we transition back to Solomon's train yard, as that same red rain now falls over the people of the community. All of you standing out there, or not out there, but nearby and watching. What do you do? As the plane continues passing overhead, the roar of its engine gradually fading. Yes, Tesla.
I shoot it.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Get into some action. So Tesla,
I've had enough of them feelings.
As the plane passes overhead, I think we probably end this scene panning away from Birdie looking out over this site here, having that last moment of memory. Yes, Birdie.
I'm trying to decide if I can wait. I'll wait.
Okay. Tesla, as you're rushing down from Solomon's his office, you come out into the garage, seeing the plane pass overhead. You grab your rifle from a nearby wall, train it up towards the plane. Go ahead and roll hard.
I'm rolling real dices. Oh, that's really good. 6 plus 4, 10 plus 3, 13.
13. All right. You train your rifle on the plane as it is slowly fading, and then boosh, you let out there's an explosion of sound from the garage that causes everyone within the train yard currently on edge to flinch and to panic for a moment. And there's a second of pause, and then you watch it hits the sort of the back panels of this contraption, and as it does, there's sort of a sputtering you see of something begin to trail off of the back of the plane as it sort of rocks from side to side, and as it's trying to ready itself, you watch as it sort of veers off down, disappearing into the canopy, and after a few seconds you hear the sound of its collision. You hear branches breaking, see birds flutter off into the sky all around, and hear the crunching of metal and the breaking of the plane off in the distance.
As it goes out, I just say, yeah, fuck you too.
You see the rest of the people now out there kind of having flinched. A lot of them are fleeing back into their homes. Some of them standing outside just in panic, realizing what is falling down upon them at that moment. You hear some screams of panic out in the train yard as people are beginning to react.
Can I try to roll leadership and have everyone try to get everyone to calm down? Just basically my goal is just to make it's just blood. I don't know if everyone knows about what blood means. I mean, I do, but I don't know if everyone does.
No, I mean the people of the train yard do not know.
Okay. I'm just like, this is just some scare tactic bullshit. Go homes, clean yourself off, and just stay quiet indoors. We'll take care of this. I can be leadership, maybe?
Yeah.
Or I can. Is that cool?
Yeah, no, I think that's perfectly fair.
Okay. I'm going to roll fake dice. So I got a roll of 8, which is a partial success, which means. Doesn't say. I think they just. On a hit, they do it. Never mind. That's all it says. All right. I keep missing those things. It's in weird orders. Okay, cool. Yeah, they just do it. But they don't. I don't. If it was a 10-4, they get a +1 for washing themselves off, I guess.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, kind of interpreting it a bit. So most of the people at the train yard kind of go immediately back into their homes, following the line. Some of them still panicking. One of them, kind of in the closest groups that are to you, as the word is sort of passed back, not everybody hearing you at once. Some of the close people look over to you and kind of calling over across the yard. Have you come out of your garage, or are you?
I was out in the rain.
You were out in the rain. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm out there. Yeah.
So as you're standing there, also sort of beginning to drip with blood, one of them, an older gentleman, looks over to you and says, "What's this mean? Are they coming back?"
This is just. Don't worry. Don't calm down. We got this under control. This is just old Song Tzu bullshit. Don't worry about it.
He doesn't know what that means, but he goes. All right, he begins to kind of go over to some of his family, and they begin to kind of mutter amongst themselves and make the way. He kind of glances back at you, seeing everyone else, kind of the leaders of this community, reacting, but they make their way back to their homes grudgingly.
I'm just being I'm being real chill, just kind of like just smearing it, not wiping it off, obviously, just smearing it in and trying to be really calm, walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Garrett.
After seeing Saul do this, Garrett's gonna tell all of his people because as he's seeing all of the carnage of people starting to freak out, the ones that aren't, he's gonna tell his people to be make sure they're inside.
Okay. So I think so you've come back because you were outside the walls in your little.
Oh, that's a good question. Was I? Because I said I came out and I'm drenched, but am I back in the?
That's up to you. I mean, after that happened, the plane passes and gets shot down. I mean, you easily could have made your way back into the. Okay,
yeah, we're
so
back.
you very quickly, you and your gang, kind of rushing through the kind of sparse woods outside of the train yard, come rushing back through the gates, and so you're telling them to kind of help keep everyone in
Make
check.
sure everyone is safe, because they don't know that what the blood means either. So he's just like, I'm not going to tell him right now.
Okay. So this is where I'm going to actually have you roll for this, because this is where the sort of I'm interpreting the flaw of your gang is kind of coming into effect here. That this is not their favorite terrain. So let's go ahead and roll plus hard just to sort of take control of the situation.
All right. 11?
Okay, 11. They do what you say. Don't gripe too much about it. None of them seem super happy about this, but after what's just happened, they'll fall in a line, and so they sort of begin to spread themselves around the community, trying to help out as much as they can in places where Solomon's mighty group of enforcers now are not present.
It's just a little blood. You've had more on you before. It's not like it's gonna happen again. Just go.
Yeah. All right.
So, go ahead.
No, you go. I was just gonna send someone to get the
Yeah.
like check the plane out, but
Yeah.
they can wait for whatever you're gonna do.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
Bertie, you do your thing, because I know you've been wanting to do this for a bit.
So, basically, as soon as Birdie saw the red mist coming down, she figured what was happening, but still, like, got some on her hands. Like, it just immediately started, like, hyperventilating. And looked out, and as soon as people started screaming, she just, like, basically also starts screaming but doesn't realize it. And everyone's just, like, running around and panicking, and then she just, like, slams the door of the infirmary shut and is just, like, screaming, staring at her hands, hyperventilating. And I don't know, I feel like I need to roll cool. Because she's freaking out, like she's gonna try and get a hold of herself, but
Okay. Yeah.
she's very distraught right now.
I think that's fair right now. So if you think rolling cool is the appropriate check for this, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, I'm rolling for anxiety attack.
All right. I'm good with that.
That is double ones plus one, so total of 3.
Damn. I think Deet and Heck tried to calm you down as you're in there, just panicking, blood on your hands, literally at this moment. And I think at this point you just sort of slump to the floor, screaming your head off.
If any of them touch me, I literally just try and punch them and just like get them like to not touch me. Like I don't want anyone touching me.
Yeah, and I think we get this moment of sort of blood on your, getting smeared all over you at this point as you're panicking, sort of clawing at your own face and clawing at them and all over the floor, just not even thinking about the consequences. And I think the rest of you hear that, especially Tesla as well, not Garrett. I don't think you're, I guess you're approaching and you're being here too. I think everybody's within earshot to hear this, especially Tesla as you watch your quarry go sinking down over the treetops, that ringing in your ears going off from the gunshot, and as that ringing begins to fade, a new sound sort of comes in as you hear the high-pitched kind of shrieking of Birdie.
I've never run so fast in my life.
All right. So I'm assuming a few
Towards
of you
her,
probably
if you need clarification.
That's fine.
She just leaves. She's like, nope.
Bye. I'm done. I'm out.
So you begin rushing towards the infirmary. I know you kind of said that you were heading that direction. Garrett's rushing that way too. And again, Leo and Solomon, you guys are sort of in the area. But again, Solomon, if you're out there trying to keep calm as much as possible, I guess are you staying? Are you rushing back? Or are you kind of staying out there?
You're muted.
I should stay out there. Just try. If anyone peeks out a window, I want them to like see me being chill.
Yeah, just spenders sort of just walking around, just saying hi to the neighbors. It's kind of how I'm picturing this. All right.
But Leopold is up in the rafters. He's been very much staying out of the rain.
Okay. So you all rush into the infirmary, and as you do, you see Birdie in the corner, covered in blood now, Deet and Heg with a few bloody handprints on them on the other side of the room, trying to approach as quietly as possible, as Birdie is just sitting in the corner, shrieking.
I've probably pulled some like of the empty like gurneys or beds and just like thrown them at people to like try and put them between me and Deet and Heck. And I'm just like wailing.
I'm in there. As soon as I get in,
Okay.
I am. Don't touch her. Don't touch her. Back up.
Dean head sort of back away.
And I'm just like trying to like basically shove myself into a wall and just like pulling on my dreads, just like full on crazy town over here.
I'll get as close to her as she will let me. If she starts throwing
Like,
stuff at
this
me, I
far,
stop.
Like this far. Like,
Yeah.
If she starts acting like she's gonna throw stuff at me, I stop.
Okay. You get probably just a few feet away from her.
I'm gonna kneel down. I'm gonna look at her, and I start talking to her. And I keep talking to her in like a low voice until she looks at me. Birdie?
not again, not again, not again, not again. I can't do it again. I can't. Not again. I can't do it. I can't.
Birdie. Birdie, look at me. Look at me. Hey, we've been here before. We got through it before. We got out of it before. We'll do it again.
Not again. I can't. Can't watch it happen again. I can't. I can't.
Birdie, look at me. You know how to fix this. It don't have to be the same as it was before. You know how to fix it, and we need you to fix it. We come out on the other side. You and me, we always do.
Tess.
It's me, Birdie. You know I always come back for you.
Tess. And then I'll just reach forward and I'll hug her.
Woo! It's gonna be alright. We're gonna fix it. We fixed it before, we'll fix it again.
Okay. Okay.
Deet says, what's going on?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We got a situation.
We just have a lot of work to do. That's all.
All right. Where'd all that blood come from?
Something flying overhead. I ain't seen nothing like it before in my life. I mean, like a car, but damn flying.
Okay, Birdie, do you want us to do anything?
We need to get clean. We need to figure out how to fix this. I think, we just got a lot of, and I pointed at the body that I've been working on. A lot of that, dropped on us. So we have a lot to solve and fix, and we can help. We can do it. We need to help.
All right. Well, just tell us what to do. We'll do it.
Okay. And I'll just get up and like just completely forget to wash my hands. And just like go and start like trying to like grab my tools and stuff. Just kind of start trying to work, and presumably one of them is like, let's wash our hands. You literally just said these words.
I think you watch as Deet like kind of back away, seeing some of the blood on them, go in the other side of the room, being to sterilize. You see them grab a few of probably like the half a dozen like masks that you have, and begin to put those on, just trying to maintain some sense of quarantine, but I think you know enough to know at this point that it might not help too much.
Yeah, and I literally smeared the blood that I got on me all over them.
Yeah. Cool. But they begin to try to undergo quarantine to sterilize the room, to do what they can to get this part sanitary. And they look at you, Tesla, who probably has a lot more blood on her because you stepped out.
I'm covered.
And they just sort of walk over and be like, all right, you probably should get out. And begin to try to move you out of the room.
Can I just say one thing before I go? I don't think most of the people in this hold know what we just got ourselves into, so if we can contain the panic, I'm trusting y'all a lot. You're first line, right?
And they look to each other and back to Birdie and say, we're not going to tell anyone.
You need me, you know where to find me.
And Birdie's just like on autopilot. Like just kind of there, but not super there.
Yeah. You see them take Birdie and just start to kind of clean her off the best they can. As she's
I
getting
leave,
older.
but I have a really hard time doing it.
Oh. As soon as Tesla's out the infirmary doors, Leopold's going to drop down next to her from above and just say, Tesla Tacoma, I believe we have the driver of a flying car to track down.
Oh! Will you not do that?
I suppose I could, but...
You think it's funny?
Well, yes, that, and it's also much more efficient.
Alright. Come on, buddy. Flying car it is.
So, has the blood rain stopped falling at this point, or...?
Yeah, it stopped falling, and now it's blood puddles on the blood walls and the blood roofs of the blood down. I mean, it's everywhere. But yeah.
It's Passover.
Yep, but so... I guess as they try and make their way out, if at all possible, Leopold's going to try and avoid touching any of the blood, but that may not be possible.
Unless you can fly and didn't tell me.
But you're pretty clothed. You always wear gloves. Like, it probably wouldn't get on your skin anyway.
Yeah.
Unless it soaks through something.
Yeah. Just have to see. I mean, it was pretty aerated, so
Sure.
that's just a risk everybody's taking right now. I mean, I think Leo's probably smart enough to know that, I mean, everybody's been exposed. So,
Sure.
but yeah, you can avoid it as much as possible when on your way out. At least you'll keep your clothes from getting bloody.
Yep.
Saul and Garrett, you guys are out there as Tesla and Leo come out.
Yeah, you want to check out this flying car?
Yeah, I do.
MC, the plane, what cardinal direction did it come from?
Let me go to my handy dandy map. Actually, I'll take everyone to the handy dandy map. So the plane came from the southeast, so sort of this direction.
Okay.
And then it veered off this way after being
So it was beginning to pull left,
it at least pulled left once it was shot. As far as the trajectory it was going before,
it was going straight. Once it still went straight after it dropped over
Yeah.
us for a bit.
It was essentially passing over the train yard, staying along the cliff. It was going along the line of the cliff that you sit at. As far as where it was going, I mean, it had barely made it. By the time Tesla took her shot, it had barely made it over the northern walls of the train yard. So,
okay. So she real quick. Okay, got it. Cool. All right, sorry.
No,
Garrett.
please continue.
Well, this made things a lot more difficult.
I think I just spit out some blood. Saying that. Just like, and maybe laugh a little bit because I don't know what else you can do. I'm gonna borrow one of the mini bikes from my garage. And it's like, wanna come? Or like let's put for the four of us, I guess. Let's all get together, get some vehicles, and check it out. But only keeping the four of us and like maybe a couple trusted attaches if you want it.
Sure, we can throw some named NPCs in the mix if you guys want to. So we'll say that.
Actually, I don't want any. I don't want any of my NPCs there.
You don't want any of yours there.
I don't want any of mine.
Okay. So do you just want some rando guard number 5 to? Are you taking? Okay. So my question.
I'm going to backtrack completely. I'm not going to go. I'll let them go. I think just before they go, just like kind of quietly to Leo, just remind him that I think that we have a mole. So, like, keep your eyes peeled. Anybody. And then I'll just, I don't know. I think I'll probably go to the office and start trying to figure out a plan or something like that. But we can figure that out way later. All right, I'm done. Bye.
Well, boys,
Okay.
looks like we're going for a bike ride.
It'll be good to see you on a bike again, Tess.
Like the old days.
Well, it's one hell of a shot. Let's see if you actually killed the bastard.
I would much rather she didn't. It's so much harder to ask questions of dead people.
You are one of my favorite people at the moment, Leo.
Come on, waste some daylight.
Yep.
All right. So the three of you get on your bikes and rip roar it out of the train yard. I guess I was trying to figure out a way to combine the word mud and blood and realize it was just mud or blood. So
Blood.
a combination of a slurry of mud and blood kicking up in the wake of your tires as you rip out of the gates of the train yard and veer quickly north in the direction where you saw the plane go down. Yeah, we'll go in. We'll just continue along that narrative thread and see where that goes. So the three of you go veering off outside the walls and along the outer perimeter of the forests that's around the train yard, heading north. Tesla, you got a pretty good idea of where that went, and you took the shot and you watched it go down. So you kind of lead that direction. And it doesn't take very long, probably about a quarter of a mile out of the perimeter of the train yard, just far enough where you don't hear the sounds of the panic ensuing from the interior, that you begin to notice broken boughs of trees. You begin to see the signs of carnage of something that began to break apart as it hit the top of the tree line. As you begin to follow that direction, you begin to notice parts. You see a large tire, a few random sheets of metal. Then you see the half of a broken wing, and then finally a few trees that have entirely sort of pushed aside, uprooted, and in this clearing that has been forced into existence, a ruined mess of a plane. The plane itself has a yellow paint job to it, which is rusted and looks dismaintained or non-maintained throughout its lifetime. You see the metal itself is contorted and twisted and broken where it has been ripped apart from the crash, and then exuding from some tanks along the underbelly of the plane. You see a pool of blood kind of forming underneath, like the plane itself bleeding out on the ground. The motor is still semi kind of twitching and going. It's like the last little bits of fuel kind of burning out, trying to rear into life once again, kind of giving out this horrible screeching noise. As the three of you approach, you hear the signs of just muffled kind of whimpering almost coming from the fuselage.
Oh, he rips it open.
Yeah, I mean it's one of like the kind of World War II style prop plane. I mean there wasn't like so I mean it was just an open exterior, so you actually walk around to the other side and it's there. You see the cockpit kind of jettisoned from the cockpit probably 30 feet away. You see the still breathing though heavily mangled body of the pilot.
From behind him I say, alive is alive.
Yeah, let's see what we can do with them.
As you approach, you see in bad shape. He's got a branch that is sort of pierced through the underside of his arm. One of his legs is entirely twisted around backwards. His left arm looks like it's dislocated, and he's just sort of slumped there, half against a tree, bleeding, and he's beginning to look pale and gaunt, like he is about to probably bleed out.
Oh, he walks over and just like steps on his leg. No. You're not going anywhere yet, my friend.
As you do that, he sort of shit.
And as he's doing that, Leopold will just come up and with the pathetic hand, matching his just and gently press a finger to his lips, and I'm going to do the mind read thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, deep brain scan. Just gonna go straight for what's in his head, and then we'll maybe ask him some questions verbally.
All right. Go ahead and make your roll.
That's a 10. 4 and a 4 plus 2.
Perfect. So you definitely succeed on that roll.
Yep, and because I have all my fancy gear that gives me +1 hold, I can just ask him all the questions, which are, so we'll just go in order. What was your character's lowest moment?
This moment right now.
No, actually, see, that was my instinct at first, but I actually think you get another sort of image. You see a man lying on the floor of a hut. You see him. This young man. I mean, he's probably in his late 20s. He has a syringe lying just out of reach of one hand. He's sort of half slumped against the wall. There's a gun lying next to him on the other side, to his left, that he's just sort of spinning with one finger. And you see this image, and you sort of get that internal monologue there. You see a man that has lost everything, that doesn't see the reason to survive. You see a husband dead. You see a family that could have been gone.
Okay. Let's see. The next question. For what does your character crave forgiveness, and of whom?
I think we get a continuation of that scene. You see that that scene sort of fast forward. You see the next few hours, the sleep, the waking back up, the moving around kind of in a zombie-like posture, making his way through the open courtyard of a circular complex, a bunch of other metal shacks, and a massive cathedral behind him. You see someone approach him. A man with dark, scarred skin, piercing blue eyes. You see him make an offer of redemption, a chance to prove himself. You see that same image of this other man, this husband, this partner, and this desire to do this task, to seek this redemption for their sake.
Okay. Let's see. Next, what are your character's secret pains? Is there anything we haven't already covered?
Oh man, I feel like we got that in spades at this point. I think mostly you sort of hone in on the regret, on an addiction that could not be stopped, of a disappointment that could not be undone, and the death of a child that this person places upon themselves, and then the eventual death of a lover that they also blame themselves for. And I think the secret part of that is you see this child drowning, and you see this man unable to do anything about it for the sake of his addiction, and knowing that it's his fault.
Okay. And last question. In what ways are your character's mind and soul vulnerable?
I think you see that vulnerability coming into play. This person being convinced to do a terrible deed, for the sake of redemption, of them being instructed in seeing this device that you don't know the name of, this yellow contraption, this man with piercing blue eyes telling him what to do, telling him that this is how he finds his forgiveness, and you get in that sense that drive for redemption, for forgiveness, for a sin that they cannot wash themselves clean of is their vulnerability.
Okay.
At least to their perspective.
Yeah. Would I have gotten any of the names of either the husband or the child?
Sure. I'd say you have gotten the this man's name is Key. The husband's name was Rush, and the little girl's name was Viva.
Vila?
Viva. V-I-V-A. Like Las Vegas.
Cool. Now it's time to be a huge...
I have to throw a little bit of brevity into this. Got real dark.
Yeah. I'm gonna catch up on chat later. Gonna pull the finger away and just say, do you think Russian Diva really forgive you for doing this?
He just that glazed moment of using the drugs and your psychic powers kind of wears off on him, and you see the tears kind of welling down his face, halfway from pain but also from the effect of reliving those memories through what you just did.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at you with this look of pain and torment, like a person that just saw their own personal hell, and he just, I just don't think he knows how to respond in that moment. I mean, there's really nothing he can do. You just see a look of betrayal and just horror across his face.
If you want, I can bring back the good times with them. I can't bring them back, but I can bring back the times. But you need to tell us everything you know about what Elijah asked you to do.
Ooh, buddy. All right. That's a good one. I'm going to have you make a... I mean, this is a manipulate of all manipulation.
Yes, boy.
Yep.
Um,
Too bad that's my -2.
Yeah, well, here's what I'm going to give you for this. Given what just happened here, I'm going to let you roll weird to manipulate them.
Sounds good. So here goes a weird roll. That's an 11.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, he's going along with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he looks at you and he says, "Please, please, please. I'll do anything."
All right. So, did Elijah tell you anything about what you just dropped on the train yard?
Yeah. I saw the bodies. I know it was gonna, or that it could hurt some people. That some people might die. But I also know we can fix it. If they come to the cathedral and if they seek sanctuary there, Black Dog has the cure. And any who want it can have it. And he said the people that weren't sinners and the people that wanted redemption would come and they would be spared. And the rest didn't deserve the redemption anyway.
I don't suppose you saw this cure in action.
I mean, yeah, no one's sick there. We had, after the attack, there were a lot of people got sick. Black Dog had a vision. Said that he would guide us and free us and cleanse us of this evil, and he did. I saw people that would have died otherwise now walking among us and laughing and living.
Okay. Leopold will sort of lean back, look at Garrett and Tessa. Do either of you have questions for Key here?
Please, just let me see him again.
So, seeing that there are no further questions, I don't know if you want to make me roll for this, but just touch him again, but then try and pull out happy memories, good memories from the times with his husband and child.
I'll let you do that. Yeah. You do. Is there anything?
Once he's in those, I will then slit his throat.
Okay. doesn't make a noise, and dies with a smile on his face.
All right. I turn to the other two. Well, I don't know that we really learned anything new, but it seems Black Dog does have a cure for this on hand.
Or at least that's what he's telling people.
True enough, but he here certainly believed it to be the case.
Everyone in his compound's gonna believe what Black Dog's telling him.
Well, I think this just shows that we don't necessarily kill Black Dog on sight. We have questions for him.
You better get to him first.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge, Tesla Tacoma? Leopold gives you as playful a smile as you've seen. Like it's not the ways that he's just been like, you're trying to take my prey from me or something, but just like, I don't know. It's not as threatening as most of his smiles are.
I suppose it is.
I mean, you can already start running now because she's going to take him out long before you even get close to him. And you knew that more than anyone.
I don't know how much Birdie would appreciate it if you shot the man who created this plague and knows how to fix it before we got to ask him any questions about it.
I know. You're right. I'm gonna think real hard about it though.
Well, yes, no, I agree. Black Dog will die, but I have promised his head to Ford the farmer. But we need information out of that head first, and as I have said, it's much trickier to pull that from them when they're dead.
Saul's gonna want to know what went down.
Yep, I will inform him upon our return.
What are we going to do with that? And he points to the flying car.
Yes, I imagine Phoenix may know something to do with it. We'll tell him where it is, he can take the truck out, perhaps start salvaging it.
He might be able to put it back together. Wouldn't that be something to see?
That would be a good addition to the armory.
Let's go,
Well, then,
boys.
shall we? Yep.
Yeah.
So, before we leave, just want to, if possible, try and get some of the blood straight from the tank that it came in some kind of container. So get as pure a sample as possible to bring back to Birdie.
Yeah, I mean, you're creepy. I'm sure you've got something you could put it in. Yeah, you've got maybe a flask or some sort of test tube or something like that.
Yep.
And you're able to get it from the container. I mean, you're gonna get some blood either on you or on the side of the fly. It's not going to be a clean process, but at least what you get is straight from the source there.
Mm-hmm.
And you bottle it back up and wipe your hands clean. All right, and the three of you kind of mark in this position, head back towards the train yard. Now, there's so much I'm sure everyone wants to do, but I think this is the best place to take a break. Cool, buddy. Oh man! All right, so let's go ahead and let's take our break, but we have a special surprise for everyone. So I'd like everyone to try to stick around during the break and at least view what we have for you. Otherwise, I think we'll be back in about 10 minutes, okay?
It's also a big surprise for our players, so
Yes, it is.
everybody head over to our Twitch channel right now. We got a fun surprise.
Yeah. All right. We will be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Hope everybody liked the surprise. We got new art for this lovely, lovely game here, made by our very own Morgan, also goes by Mojo, also Mojo Draws, occasionally seen here on this channel, drawing stuff posted through her own channel. So if you like the art, go check out her channel next time that she's live drawing stuff. I don't know, is she taking commissions? No, she is.
You'll
We'll
have to
follow
find
up.
her on Twitter and ask her.
Yeah, I'll have to find out. But she did an amazing job, and I think everybody is super happy with their art, or you better be, because it's all amazing. So yeah, we're going to incorporate those on the overlay for next time. But we wanted to give you guys all a sneak peek for it for today. So let's go ahead and get back to it. So I think there were some questions that were being asked during the break. Yes?
Am
Yes?
I still dying?
You're all dying.
But faster
asking-
than everyone else because I got mauled by a bear.
If you are still injured, what I was gonna say, we can resolve it. I think it was decided you have not spent the stock to heal her, Birdie. Okay, so at this point you have not improved. So you're still where you were last time. Not enough time has passed. If Birdie does heal you this session, then we can erase it at the end of it if she wants to spend the stock for it. So, but let's go ahead and pick back up. While the crew was gone, Solomon, what you doing?
Besides cleaning up, I'll think of a scene. In my conversations with Jen, did she say that she saw Black Dog Compound?
I think she said specifically that she did not get close enough to see it.
She didn't get close enough to see it. Okay.
They got ambushed before they got close.
Okay, then I don't know that there's anything that I need to that's pressing right now.
Okay. Wait till everybody gets back.
Yeah, waiting for information.
Yeah, that's fair. Just want to give you the opportunity if there's anything else. I think for right now in the train yard, I mean, there's a lot of panic and a lot of murmuring and stuff, and you can only imagine what is being said behind closed doors right now.
Oh, sure. Sure.
But for right now, there's no like open rebellion, and nobody is just outright causing a panic in the streets.
Our water situation's not great, right? Or is it like what? I wouldn't use it to clean stuff, right?
No, that's. I think we kind of decided that was part of the reason why contamination and disease was such a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have groundwater supply, so most of your systems actually come from rainwater.
Okay.
Which
maybe that's probably what I'm like working on. Just like have for those the collection things. Just like let's get those cleaned off, and maybe just like trying to be, real practical about this right now.
Yeah. Luckily, I think most of the time, unless it's raining outside, the collection bins are. I mean, they're closed to avoid evaporation of the water. I think you guys are smart enough for that. So you guys, you do begin to clean those off. I mean, you have no guarantees that the water is not contaminated, but
sure,
there's no direct sign at this point that the water is.
It's mainly for appearances. Like,
Yeah.
I want people to feel they're drinking clean more than like, I don't think that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't, I know it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. I think the way that a lot of people are essentially getting clean right now and you see like now that it looks like the danger has subsided, people going outside and just kind of scraping themselves clean is basically the best that they can do. Some people have some small amounts of like personal water stocks that they've been able to hold, some of the more affluent members of your community, which there's not a very big disparity there. They are able to get themselves a little bit cleaner, but yeah, not much you can do as far as bathing. So yeah, I'd say, Solomon, you oversee things for the next few hours while you're waiting for everyone to return, trying to get things back to a sense of normalcy. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything we necessarily do there. We'll get to the any other stuff later on. So everybody sort of returns. You hear the rumbling of bikes, and the gates open up. Most of your guards now, that the ones that don't need to be tending to people in the city, are patrolling the walls, expecting some sort of attack. And Garrett, Tesla, Leo come rumbling up into the garage. Birdie, you hear them. Solomon, you hear them as they cut off their bikes and are back home.
Do we notice that Tesla is like really hurt?
I mean, I think everybody saw. I mean, you can all notice that she's a bit banged up.
Especially once the adrenaline wears off.
Yeah. So like as we're walking, we notice that she's like slowing down and kind of limping. Cool. Tess, you might want to go see the little sparrow. You don't look as well as you normally do.
I've had worse.
That I'm pretty sure about, but I'm just saying you probably don't want Birdie to find you in the condition you're in and then make it worse before making it better.
I'll be alright.
Alright, it's your funeral.
At least all my limbs are attached this time.
Have they never been attached?
I lost a few bits along the way.
Yeah, but you turned out fine.
Leopold's just looking back and forth between this dialogue.
I scratch my prosthetic ear and then keep walking.
All right. So I'm going to assume, let's say for the sake of this and to move the narrative along, you guys all are meeting someplace central. Except, I mean, unless somebody wants it, Birdie, you staying in your...
Yeah, like, I'm just autopiloting until it finally gets through to me that, like, I cannot do this at this moment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to keep thinking that I can fix this until it finally gets through to me in the state that I'm in that I can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately your call. It's been a few hours at this point. I guess it's however long you think Birdie needs. If nobody else is going to interrupt, as you guys are all going to meet up with Solomon and tell him what you've learned.
Now we just
Okay, I think if it's been a few hours, probably Deed or Hecuba got up the courage and was like, Birdie, we can't do this right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. So Deed kind of, as you're just scrubbing things violently and like throwing like books around and just flipping through things and then grabbing some of the solutions and stuff you have off the shelves and just going through inventory just repeatedly. I think Hecuba just grabs your wrist and just says, hey, Birdie, I think you need to get some air.
You're right.
We'll go through everything. We'll take into account what we have, and we'll figure out what'll help. But we don't have here what we need. I mean, you know better than anybody, and there's not enough here.
Okay. Yeah. I know. Thank you, Heck.
No problem. Sounds like the rest of the gang's back. Why don't you see what they found?
Yeah. I'll be right back.
They sort of watch you as you're leaving.
Like watching a concussion patient.
Yeah. And as you walk out.
Cool.
Yeah, I should close the door behind you.
Yes. Normally I'd chat this at you, but just, since you're with her right now, we got a redemption for a Maelstrom Surge for Birdie.
Good.
Oh, that's
not
brutal.
in my infirmary, not with my friends.
All right. I'm gonna hold this for just a little bit. But that's good to know that is in the.
Oh, who did it?
Who do you think?
Who do you think did it? There's like one person that would have done it.
Like
There are a lot of people who would have done it.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say thank you. I want to save it to a point where it would be more dramatic. So let's move forward this scene, and I'll see if the appropriate time comes in right now to do it. So, Yuko walking out, feeling a chill up your spine for no reason, and you see the three hooligans that left to go chase down the plane returned.
Ah, yes, Birdie, I have a present for you. And take out the flask and say, this is some of the blood straight from the source. For your analysis purposes.
Thank you. This will help. Probably. And I'll take it and cork it if it's not corked, and pocket it.
Yeah, I think it was sufficiently corked. But
just riding back on the motorcycle the whole time, holding it steady.
Yeah, holding it level.
Using my prosthetic as like a gyroscope.
All right, and the four of you hop, skip, and jump up to Solomon's office, where I think I assume Solomon at some point has gone back there, just probably to have a moment where he's not in the public eye to react to this. So, I guess describe if they're coming up to the office. You can describe like just before they get in, or what they're seeing, what they get in. But what's Solomon doing when he's not being looked at right now, when he finally has a chance alone?
Do I have a map of the area, or some kind of really rough looking thing? And if I don't, maybe I'm drawing something. I don't know. I think you might have done. If you have a map, it's something that you drew at some point. So you're either doing it now. It's whatever you want to do, but you don't necessarily have like anything to scale, because no map would have existed of this area before. Right.
You guys took refuge here.
Yeah, I think I've probably done a few maps, and like, but they're, because of the nature of the way this world works, like it's not one piece of paper. So like I've put up different things together, and like where I think their general positioning is with each other up on a board.
I like it. So you're just sort of scoping all that out and just sort of getting everything together and preparing yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
You hear the creaking of metal outside, and the bits of conversation, the familiar voices of the your lieutenants and other important people within the compound as they come to the door. I don't know if you guys knock or just walk in at this point, but
Leopold never knocks.
Yeah, I think maybe somebody stopped. Maybe Tesla stops to knock. I'll
probably knock at the open doorway after like 3 people walk in.
Yeah, because I think what happens to anyone who stops to knock, Leo just sort of just slinks his way through and opens the door and walks in. Garrett goes straight in after, and then Birdie politely knocks.
Yeah. So, you'll find it?
Yes, we did. And I would tell him, what I learned from the pilot, and give him the words and things and stuff.
The rundown.
Yes,
Yep.
that.
So I'm trying to think if I would. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't know that a plane would likely need a runway or something like that. So, or
Well, I mean,
necessarily.
again, I made the comment at the beginning that most of you have probably never seen a plane before. But again, it's not something that's impossible. I mean, you've traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to most of you to make the character choice of whether or not you would know what that was.
I think I know what it was, but I don't think that I understand that, like, the mechanics of it, that it needs a thing. So like,
That's fair.
But I mean, cars don't instantly get up to speed either. So it's not like out of the
right,
building.
but the difference between those two scenarios is like a car doesn't need like a straight line to do that. It can
That's
do that
right.
pretty much anywhere.
Mhm.
But So I don't think I'll ask about that. Like, so he was talking. Say specifically where he came from, and did they know? Did he say if anyone was expecting him?
I don't think he had anyone to go home to, and it seemed like he came from Black Dog's compound in Vacan.
And then I'll kind of look at the map. Like, all right, so best I can tell from what Jen said, this is where Black Dog's compound is, and like bloody fingerprints on the paper. That plane came from southeast. If it came from Black Dog's compound, it went a bit out of its way before coming here. I think that's odd. But there's not a lot we can do about that right now. Is there anything else you learned?
Not regarding the geographic origin of the vehicle, no.
It's in pieces, but maybe Phoenix can get it back up and running.
Could be useful.
Could be incredibly useful. Did we hear that the dude said that Black Dog had the cure, or was that just in Leo's like head thing?
He said it out loud. I
Okay.
think.
Okay, cool.
And MC, just a question: was there any chance that in the bits and pieces I got some glimpse of the path the plane took?
I don't think you got. I mean, strictly from the visions I gave you, I don't think you got him in the plane, but you did get him at the plane when he was first shown it, and what you saw, and yeah, I mean, I didn't describe it at the time because it wasn't really relevant, but I think kind of backtracking a bit, you did see a sort of a cleared out area, kind of devoid of forests, kind of arid land for miles around. You saw a rusty metallic looking, or a couple of rusty metallic looking buildings, all clustered in one area around a massive stretch of cracked and broken pavement that stretched out close to a mile in its entire length. And you did see this man being taken here by vehicle, and he was taken to one of these hangars where he was shown this contraption, this plane. As far as geographic, I'll give you a little bit of this too. As far as geographic landscape, there weren't any forests around. It was, I mean, this was a pretty, I wouldn't say barren landscape, but grasslands, at least as far as you could see. Given the nature of this world, you did see to the south was what you'd be able to technically get the landmarks of. There was a drop off south of your location, probably a dozen miles or so, but clearly there was an end to the world that direction. And to the north, you did see some hills, see some forests, and see some other landmarks. That there was more terrain that direction. Or not really. I would say it was not really north, but west to northwest, hills and forests. And you did see other islands, land masses to the south as well.
Okay, so I'd relay all that information.
That can be a few places, but So, I'm assuming you mentioned the cure. Y'all mentioned the cure.
That's what he was. I was waiting for all of that to finish, but yeah, Garrett would be like. He also talked about Black Dog having a cure for this, and that if anyone wanted it, all they would have to do is go to that compound, and I think the term was seek redemption.
I take his he's full of shit, but I think that
second
about
that.
most people. So
Plus, I mean, me, you, and I think Birdie don't fall into that group.
But if he made a cure, then he must have some better tools than I had when I was there. Because I can't make it here.
All right. Well,
You can make it though if you had everything you needed. You know how to fix it. You just can't.
Theoretically.
Tesla, I told you we needed Black Dog alive. For information, for supplies. He will die, but we need him alive first.
you're the psychic.
so y'all know this Black Dog. You think he has the cure? Or is this just more horse shit?
I think whether he does or not, he can convince people he does.
I don't think he would drop diseased blood on people that he told to come to his house. Unless he had a cure.
If it is diseased blood.
Plus, I mean, if he wants to kill everybody, all you do is drop it, tell people you have the cure, wait for them to show up, and then mow them down at your gates.
Yeah,
He
I
could be
don't
doing
like
a lot. Yeah, he could be doing a lot of things with this information. True or not.
What do y'all think? Garrett, what do you think we do?
That's tough. A part of me wants to just ride out and burn his entire compound to the ground, but we know how that worked last time. I think we need a little bit more information first. We've only seen, a handful of his people. We don't know if he's got a force stronger than us. Not to mention, if word gets out that what just covered everybody will turn them into frothers, we're going to have a bigger problem, which is going to happen sooner or later.
Tesla?
I think number one priority is getting Birdie what she needs.
Now, do you propose we go about doing that?
I'm leaving. Whoever's going out, I'm going with them. We don't have a lot of time.
How
People are gonna
long do
start
we
getting-
have?
Well, people are going to start getting irritable, feverish.
Well,
And
I'm
when we
pretty.
got-
Birdie. I'm pretty irritable right now. Tell me how long we have before it's too late.
People will die in about a month. We have 3 to 4 weeks before the mind starts to fail. Far less before people start being less helpful than usual. And that includes us.
So if we're gonna play this smart and cool, we got to make some decisions. Now, Gary, you said you need more information. Where do you propose we get that information?
That's the biggest problem that I'm thinking of right now, because the only information that we have is from the compound and the people there. But I could take my crew, ride out, get as close as we can, try to figure out how many people are there. I know Phoenix talked to someone in their group, so if we can get a hold of somebody and bring them back, maybe we can get information out of them, but I don't want to test it.
I think Phoenix might be a good person for this.
Solomon, you really want my opinion?
I don't ask for things I don't want, Tesla.
I don't think Garrett's necessarily wrong. But we can go information hunting once we have a home to come back to.
Tesla, I'm not going to send all our people to a stronghold that I know shit about with a cure that may or may not exist, with the promise of some asshole who's telling me that he'll forgive any transgressions to me and my people.
I ain't
I'm
saying
not
we show
ready
up
to
to the
put-
compound. Black Dog ain't gonna exactly welcome me with open arms. But you
How do
let
you
Birdie,
propose?
you let Birdie tell us what she needs. We figure out where we can find it. We get it. We bring it back. We cure whatever's going on here. We can worry about what the rest of them are doing.
Birdie, what do you need?
Because I tell you what, if Black Dog figured it out, Birdie can figure it out in half the time.
We don't have to go to their compound to get the cure. We don't have to go that far at all.
Where do we have to go?
At
Long
that
Mar-
moment, before we get to that, I want Birdie to roll plus weird.
Great! For it!
It's okay. I'm here
I
if
wanna roll
anything
for
goes
reals.
wrong.
For realsies! That's a 9 minus 1 for 8.
8. Oh man, you have a -1 on that? Oh, I should
Yep.
make you roll weird more. Okay, so here's what I think happens then as Solomon asks you that question and you begin to answer. I think for a moment, Solomon sort of, the end of his sentence begins to trail off and just goes a bit sort of muted and kind of Charlie Brown parent style, just kind of wah, 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 and everything just goes a bit hazy. And it's in that moment that I think you begin to hear another voice. And you hear a familiar voice behind you say, "You know why they gave me the name Black Dog?" And you turn and you're sitting on a bench in the cathedral. And you see Black Dog sitting next to you in this memory. And he says, "My mother told me a story once. Well, she told me the story many times, but there was a legend within my family, something passed on from my grandfather, and I'm not sure where it started, but well, we didn't come from around here. We weren't originally from this area, that we traveled from somewhere else. Our family was on the brink of starvation, of death. And one night, we were making camp and we heard a growl. My great-great-grandfather or someone, but... And when they looked, they saw a creature, a wolf, glaring out at them. dark and menacing, and they all assumed they were dead. But it just stood there. And then it left. The next day they found the remains of a deer, something like that, just a little bit away from the camp. They, of course, cooked it, ate it, and lived. Later that day, they saw that same wolf guiding them. They followed it. And after however long traveling, they eventually found their way here to this place. And they survived. Now, I'm sure that it was superstition or a story told by my elderly great-grandfather to the kids to entertain them, but when I was made leader of these people, I promised to guide them in the same way. That they would never go hungry. They would never be in danger so long as I was here. Eventually, people started referring to me as Black Dog because of that, and well, it fills me with pride when they do, because that is what I want to be to them. And as he finishes that sentence, you shift and you feel sort of a cold wind coming from behind you. You turn, and you're no longer in the cathedral, and everything's dark. You look down, and there's a body at your feet. And you close your eyes, realizing where you are. You hear, as the panic begins to whelm, you hear a bit of commotion. And there's a crack that forms in the darkness as a shaft of light pierces through, and you hear the door opening, and you hear an unfamiliar yet familiar voice of Tesla as she calls out to you. And that moment, as your eyes are blinded from the light, you open them again, and you're not in that chamber anymore. And you look around, and you're in a set of fields of unfamiliar woods and hills, and you see ahead of you a door leading into the earth, partially open. And you're not sure what it is, and you don't see anybody around you, but you know you have to go there. And you know where it is. And suddenly you're back in Solomon's office. All of you watch parties just sort of stop mid-sentence.
Hey.
Sorry. What?
I believe the voices may have just spoken to her. Welcome to every day of my existence, Birdie.
Ugh. So where's the hole in the ground, MC?
I think you just know south, west. I think you know a direction. You just know you have to go that way.
Sorry, Solomon. What did you say?
I said, where can we get this equipment that you need?
South.
South.
Yeah.
What is that?
I can take us there. I need to go. I can't describe to you the tools I need. You might not, whoever goes might not bring back what I need and just get something that looks similar. I have to go there. And we don't have the time for someone to bring back the wrong thing.
I think just Solomon kind of turns away from you, looks at the map. He's considering.
And then I'm gonna say, this isn't a gunshot wound. It's not gonna get worse if I don't fix it. I can be gone. It's not gonna get worse while I'm gone. It'll only get worse if I don't have what I need. And by implying the gunshot wound, I am using my hold that I have on Solomon that he owes me one for patching him up when he got shot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think when it comes to using hold on PCs, I think you have the same. It's the sort of seduce or manipulate skill, as if you rolled a 10 on. I'm pretty sure. Again, I'm going to do it this way, even if it's not, because I think this is the best way to do it. So, essentially, he has you. It's as if you rolled manipulate and rolled a 10. So he can either go along with you and mark experience. If he refuses, he has to erase one of his highlights for the remainder of the session. Since we're doing this in the second half, and I've been deciding how I was going to do this if it came up, and now it's come up. That's going to carry over to the second half of the next session. So we're going to do this in football rules. It's going to apply for the second half of this, and then you're going to be suspended for the first half of the next game. All
right, you lost me at football rules.
Yeah. So if you refuse, you erase one of your highlighted stats, and you have to keep that stat erased. So you only get one highlighted stat for the rest of this session and the first half of the next one.
Okay, guy, understood.
If it happens in the first half of the game, then I'm only going to apply it for that game.
Yeah, no. So Solomon considers it, and you just. We can't make it look like you're running scared.
I'm not.
I know you're not. I'm not worried about what you are, Birdie, right now. I'm worried about what people see.
I can go with her.
I as well.
All right.
If we don't want it to make it look like she's running, then it'll just look like my crew is out doing something else.
I left before with Phoenix to visit Ford.
Leopold, I might need you to work on something different.
Of course, yes. There is that other matter that I still need to attend to.
I don't mean to shit in your breakfast, but...
Yes, no, I'm sure Garrett the Iron Demon and his crew will be sufficient protection for our little birdie.
And Tesla, I think you should go with him too.
You know, if anybody leaves with me, ain't nobody gonna ask questions.
That's the way I'd like it.
Well then, back on the road, Tesla.
I just sigh.
I look at Tesla and realize that sigh sounded like she has a minor pneumothorax and a broken rib.
Maybe 2.
All right. Yeah, I think at that point, enough of the distraction, realizing what you're about to do, Birdie, yeah, you do realize that Tesla's looking kind of rough.
I can fix it. I can fix it, I promise.
Do I do the thing now? Do I have to do the thing now? Do I have to go to the infirmary?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
go to
we
the
can say-
infirmary so I can
if
have
you
plus
guys-
1.
Yeah, if you're done with the scene here, if you guys aren't going to continue with anything else.
Or I'll just talk this out instead of typing it up, Leopold. If we wait until Tesla's like ship shape before they all set off, then you can like do your homework and then you can go out with everybody.
If I do my homework, I get to go play.
Yeah. I don't know if it depends on like if we actually get anything from it, but you know, because I definitely don't want to keep you from going on the trip, but Solomon would not want you to go.
Yeah, no, I was more thinking this is more it would be kind of cool if all the players went on this road trip, but
yeah, I
don't
want
see
to
that
do a
being
road trip
feasible.
with y'all, but I feel like if I'm like, guys, it's fine, it's fine. Like, I feel like I'm stuck here for now.
Yep.
All right, sorry.
So before I leave, I will quietly say to Solomon a little thank you. I'll fix it.
I know you can.
And then I will leave.
Okay.
I wait for her to leave because I want to talk to Solomon.
All
I
right.
wait for Tess to come out, so I'm literally like standing maybe 3 feet from the door staring at her.
So I think everybody goes walking out. You go walking out. You turn around and see Tess, and poof, the door closes.
And now I turn around and see that you're still in there. It's like,
Leopold's
Tesla?
probably still in there too.
yeah. That it still worries me, but that's fine.
That's fine. I'll talk to
I'm
her,
more-
Leopold.
Yeah.
I already believe that Leopold can read my mind anyway, so.
Tell me about it. Jeez. Is there something else?
Whatever that weird shit was that you pulled before. I don't know what you were in here doing. Having visions or talking to the voices or whatever. I don't really give a shit what it was. I just want you to know that that shit doesn't just affect you, Saul. It's weird. It's fucked up. And I don't think I have to tell you the story again of why I left Black Dog, but he did a lot of that weird shit too. And listen, I don't care what you do in your personal time, and I respect you and I follow you. As soon as that weird shit starts hurting other people, and the people I care about, we're gonna have a problem. But I want you to know for context that when I say people I care about, you're one of them.
Is that it?
Yes, sir. Better turn around and walk out.
So when it gets to just Solomon and Leopold, MC, is there anything that I would have gleaned from when we were all together?
Yeah, I think you get the sense. I mean, everybody's guarded in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you get any of the sense that anyone in your group is like is directly working against Solomon at this time.
Okay. Well, I believe those of us who are here, there's nothing to be worried about in regards to Black Dog. I think we all have plenty of reason to be upset with him at the moment. But I will begin my search in the rest of the compound's denizens, see what I can turn up.
Start with Jen.
Will do.
But Leopold,
Yes,
be subtle.
I can do subtle.
I know you can do subtle, but sometimes you don't, and that's why we're in a kind of shitty situation with 4 right now. So I need you to choose subtlety.
I will do that, Solomon, Father.
Atta boy. Let me know if you find anything.
Of course.
Is there anything you need?
Not at the moment, but I will be sure to let you know if that changes.
Just let me know.
With that, I think Leopold will go out. I don't know how many doors there actually are, but there's probably some other way out because he knows that. Or actually, no, because once Tesla left, Birdie and Tesla probably left. So Leopold leaves in some manner.
Okay. Yeah, there's only one door in and out of Solomon's office, but there are a few doors out of the garage itself, so you could go down the side stairs thing.
Yep.
Leo
As I'm
just
taking. Oh, sorry. go ahead.
Leo just doesn't like Cheshire Cat fade from existence.
I don't know, maybe. Ooh, that's some weird brain stuff I could start doing. Start implanting illusions. Go number 8 on people.
We could definitely look into that.
Thank you. Is what I should have said.
So what were you saying, Birdie?
Oh, I was just saying, as soon as Tesla came out and I'm leaning directly for me, I'm like, basically gently scolding her, like, you've been sitting with that, with a broken rib this whole time. I can hear the blood in your lungs as we're walking here right now. Tesla, Tacoma. But, like, through the scolding, she is sounding a lot more like herself than she has for the past, 5 hours.
Hey, you let me go on a bike ride earlier.
I did no such thing. I don't remember you asking for doctor's permission if you were well enough to go.
I don't remember you saying not to.
I don't remember you telling me you were even doing it. We could do stitches one of 2 ways, Tesla. I can have gentle hands, or I cannot. Totally teasing.
I act like I'm gonna say something, and then just stop.
I gently shove her good side that doesn't have the broken rib.
They're all broken. Just kidding.
All 17 of them.
Yes, that's my secret. I have 17 ribs.
She keeps such a slim figure.
All right, so you two go down to the infirmary to patch Tesla up. So you're gonna spend stock, and
I spend 1 stock.
and accelerate the healing process. Cool. So I think what we'll say then is
I
that
forgot that I didn't need to roll when it's
no, you don't need to roll. But we'll say then, as far as time wise, Tesla, you'll be good to go by the next day. Pretty much. I mean, you're not like fully healed, but you are at 0 harm. I think is what we're saying here. Like harm doesn't exactly equal like I've got a cut. So, but you are good enough to proceed forward unabated. As long as you get a decent night rest tonight. We'll see. So Leo, you're going to do shady shit.
Some weird shit. Yep.
Okay. Is anybody, before Leo goes and does his shady shit, was there anything anybody else wanted to do?
I just tell Deet and Heck that I'm going to be leaving and they're going to be manning the fort. And I pack some
They
provisions.
look panicked. The two of them are like, wait, what? What?
I have- Heck, you told we don't have the stuff here.
All this stuff just happened, and people are gonna. Well, who's gonna
No.
supervise us?
Deet, you don't need supervision. We've been working together for how long now? You're much better at this than you think you are. Don't sell yourself short, and nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. This is for good luck, not like I'm lying.
Nah, I know.
Just clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
And you both know we don't have the tools here that we need to synthesize a cure. And I can't just describe it to people because they might bring us back the wrong thing, and then we'll have even less time.
They both look at each other. All right. How long are you gonna be gone for?
Did I get any sort of sense how far away the hole in the ground was?
You get the sense that it's a fair distance. This is not a day trip.
Right. I was imagining probs a week.
I'd say it's fair. Yeah,
Cool.
I'd say it's fair.
Probably a week before the symptoms get too much to handle or anywhere close to out of hand. I won't leave you to that.
Heck kind of pats Deet on the back and says, "It'll be fine. It'll be fine." All right.
Short of this disease in the late stages, you know you two can handle whatever else comes through this door.
Yeah, we're just this feels dumb to ask. You're coming back, right?
I smile so soft and mommish, and I give them both a hug. So tight. Of course I'm coming back. This is my home.
All right. Yeah, we got this. We got this. Yeah, we've got this.
You've got this.
All right. So they go about their business.
Cool.
You've comforted them sufficiently.
Great. I love
All right.
them so much.
We don't have to play this scene out, but I think Saul gets ready to kind of turn in, and then he changes his mind and goes to the end of the line, and then like basically tells the bartender to give everyone like a couple free rounds if anyone is there, and just like cut it loose with the least of these. Just like have a drink with everybody, get everyone kind of started with that, and then maybe after a tasteful half an hour, 45 minutes, I will leave.
Okay, I think there's one thing in that I want to actually play out. You gave everybody the drinks. People are mighty grateful. I think when everybody's drinking after everything's passed out, the bartender, who the proprietor of the establishment, a man probably a little bit younger than you, been in your community for a while. He's got sort of shoulder-length black hair, and he leans across the bar, and he just says, So can I talk to you for a second?
Sure, Paul.
Yeah, well, Paul. I wasn't going to name this person, but that's fine. Paul and Saul. He says, Yeah, looks around, makes sure nobody's listening, and says, "There have been some rumors going around."
They tend to.
I'm coming with you this as a friend, or as a supporter, and I hope as somewhat of a friend, and some of that you've been able to trust over the years. Hell, I mean, you gave me this place. There's some people talking, saying that Black Dog made an offer, saying there's going to be a war coming. They're saying there's going to be an attack, and a lot of people are seriously considering taking them up on that offer of leaving. I mean, just look outside. We've only got, I don't know how long we have until the people here just walk on across. And I'm afraid, especially with what happened earlier today, a lot of people might be doing just that.
Well, I appreciate you telling me about this, Paul. You're a good man. I think the people who are thinking of taking Black Dog's deal, they don't know Black Dog. Like just today, we shot down a plane of his. You know, the one that dumped all this blood all over us? You know, our crew, we went to check it out, and you know what? Despite all, the pilot was alive. And he was talking. Talks a lot about Black Dog. Where do you suppose that blood came from? The blood that's covering everything. That's Black Dog's people. That's how Black Dog takes care of his own. Now, we try to end the threat to civilization as we know it, but he's a damn cockroach, and we're gonna have to try it again. But don't believe a word of that he says. He's just a snake oil salesman, and it's gonna get people killed. It got a lot of people killed already, and I'm just trying to keep people safe. And I've always been there for you. I've been there for everyone here. And I realize memories get fuzzy every now and then. That's all right. But I'm here to remind everybody. So I'll take care of you.
I want you to roll something here.
Right.
I think I don't think you're lying, because I wanted you to do the manipulate, but you're not really lying. It's more of a persuasion thing. What I'll have you do is go and do your leadership roll again. I think
Okay.
I think that's the best one to do.
Okay. I rolled an 11.
Nice. And Paul nods, and he says, "Damn fine, know it. You know what? Next time they come in here and they start spouting off that shit, I'll make sure I say something. You're right. I mean, everybody should see it clear as day out there. I don't know why they don't. People panic.
There's nothing wrong with a little panic as long as we wake up with little heads in the morning.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I follow you. You're a good man."
I just try to be who my people need me to be.
I'll keep the drinks coming. feel free to stay around. I'm sure you're busy though. But
Yeah, I better get back to it. But you keep the tab on me for a night.
will do, boss. And he goes back to giving drinks, and a few people as you're leaving kind of see you and give a nod towards you. Kind of air in the tavern, spirits in here, no pun intended, being high. And yeah, so you leave and head back to your quarters or wherever you're heading for the night. So Leo.
So to start with being subtle, unlike when he was going to Ollie's place and checking through his things, Leopold is going to return to his sanctum and just kind of casually probe the psychic maelstrom from there. So Leopold is going to go to his room, which is in the middle of what used to be a fancy sleeper car. That, you know, there are plenty of mattresses and pillows and plenty of livable spaces, but no one else in the compound wants to use it because they know it's Leopold's car. And it's not like he's told people to stay out. No one has been brave enough ever to come and try and ask. So he's just slowly pulled all the mattresses and pillows into one room and just has like a cocoon, a nest of bedding that he goes to. So just going to kind of sprawl in there. I think just open his brain and try and focus it on Jin, but see what comes in regards to a mole in the compound.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and either way, go ahead and roll weird, and we'll resolve it.
Yeah. Okay, that's a 7 for a partial success.
Okay. Yeah. So I think here's what happens. You open up your mind to this force, this maelstrom, this entity, and this energy that you are so easily able to tap into. And what you get in this moment, having a very clear impression of the situation of things, is that there is a lot going on. There's an overwhelming sort of like the psychic maelstrom is humming here. It's buzzing. There's a lot of energy going on here. All the panic, everything that's been going on, all the tension and everything mounting at this point. And it's a lot to take in. You find yourself overwhelmed at first. You have a hard time focusing on someone specifically. You try to focus on Jin, but you find yourself not able to probe that deeply and that acutely. But you do see everyone in Saul's compound in this vision sort of gathered in one place. And one by one, people start to fade and just sort of dissolve away as you're narrowing the search and kind of narrowing it down to the person that is at the core of this, the bad apple in the bunch. And eventually you do narrow it down to the group. You see Saul and Garrett and Tesla and Birdie and Phoenix. You see yourself. You also see Cask and Jin. You see some of Solomon's gang, some of Garrett's gang, some of the higher ups within it. The closest people to the center of this web that spans out, and you follow the threads to that point. And you can't narrow it any further than that. But there's a moment there where you know, and the force sort of speaks to you, saying, one of these people is not what they seem. So I'll give you a list later on of the people you narrow it down to.
Sounds good.
But for now, I'm going to say it's probably a list of somewhere around 15 people. Not overly substantial, but... All right. So that resolves that. So you all do that. You all go to bed for the evening, unless there's anything else anybody wants to do, wrapping up this day. This wonderful, wonderful day. You all head off to sleep with plans for what is to come in the coming week. Before we head off to sleep, though, I need everyone to roll plus hard.
I rolled an 8.
I rolled a 10.
I also got an 8.
10.
I'm checking my stats. What do I have in heart? Nothing. I got a 7.
Okay, so we had who got 10s or higher? 2 of you. You're good.
Wow, I can't believe no one failed. That's
Yeah. The rest of you can mark infected on your sheet. And that's all we'll do for now. But those of you that marked infected, make sure you write that down somewhere, because that is going to that's going to keep going. So there we are. I think that's where we'll go ahead and end it, so we can do our resolution stuff and prepare ourselves for next week. So everybody shake it off. Everybody good? Yes.
Remind me, when I heal a fellow PC, do I get hex with them or do I get experience?
You get a hex with them.
Okay.
You and that person both mark hex.
Yeah, Tesla.
Ooh. Wait, what happens when I hit 4?
You roll over to 1 and you improve.
Yeah. You also do the same thing when you hurt someone. So that's just, let's just be, just in case anybody remembers that going forward, want to farm some XP, shoot your friends.
Don't do that. I don't have a lot of stock.
I'll just casually melt your brains a little bit each day.
Then I can't heal people. I need my brain.
Just a small bullet wound to everyone. It'll be fine.
You've got 10 toes. You don't need all of them.
So you get your XP. Sorry, Tesla, not improve. But you go to 1. Let's see. So you got that, Tesla. You mark 1 harm down. Does anybody have harm right now besides Tesla, or is everybody Saul
Wait,
does?
so I'm at 0, or I have...
You go down 1, so you're at
3.
whatever. Yeah, so you had 2 ticks. You have 1 tick now. Saul, I'll say for this session, because you had previous medical treatments, you also go down 1 tick. Is anybody else hurt? Okay, so that puts you both
I think
at 1.
I have some psychological damage.
That does put you both at 1, correct?
1
Okay,
tick.
Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and do the hex thing. So we'll go in the same order we went earlier. Garrett. Who knows Garrett better, or who knows Garrett better than they did previously?
Yeah. That's a tough one, because this one he talked to basically everybody. It's either between Tesla or Solomon, because like him and Saul are getting along a little bit better now, and like for the first time ever in this game, Tesla and Garrett have actually spoken to each other.
You should give it that. I think Tesla earns it then.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've spoken. Yeah. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Sweet.
All right.
Does
So
it go
Tesla,
from -1 to 0?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
-1 to 0. So Tesla, you improve your history. All right. So Solomon, who knows Solomon better?
I don't know. Does anyone have any suggestions?
Well, my manipulation worked.
Okay. That works for me.
Okay.
All right. So Birdie, who knows Birdie better?
I think Leopold does. He said he was in the rafters when I had my heckin' crazy town anxiety attack over there.
All right. Tesla, who knows Tesla better?
I'm gonna say. I'm going based on people who learned things about me that maybe I think they. I'm gonna say Leopold because I think he was maybe not. Maybe she didn't like say things directly to him, but I think maybe he was privy to a lot of things that might have
Who
been
care
new.
about Solomon?
I think he was there for conversations that maybe the content of which he would not have been privy to before.
Yeah. No,
Like being in the rafters for things.
yeah. I feel like it should just be given that Leo marks 1 for everybody at the end of each session, but we'll just this is more fun.
But I think there was stuff that I maybe openly shared with him, like around or in the room, that it would not have previously.
Fair. All right, and last but not least, Leo.
Oh. I'm leaning towards Birdie because she had a psychic maelstrom experience, and he made the comment like,
Yeah.
"That is my life."
That's fair. I think that's totally fair.
All right, so that's everyone. Okay then. So that's everything then. So everybody hold on to that. Infected, and we'll pick this up in 2 weeks. So I'll go ahead and do our thank yous and everything once again. Thank you, Morgan, for our new art. Can't wait to see that in the overlay next time. A couple of quick things. We've got Tidefall coming up on Thursday. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be at 7 o'clock Eastern time, so be there bright and early for that. Yes, Savannah, you're raising.
And also keep an eye on the Twitter the rest of the week, because we're going to be doing the rest of our character introductions every day leading up to the day of the campaign.
Yes, yeah. Make sure you keep an eye on those. And as always, keep an eye on our Twitter. Follow us. Set the notification thing that you get beeped every time we tweet.
Let us beep you.
Let us beep you.
That's not let us bleep you. That's let us beep you.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for Twitter for announcements and everything. We will have, like I said at the beginning of the stream, we won't have our normal Game of Survivors Complex this week. We will instead be doing a one-shot or playing different systems, something like that. So like I said, we'll have more details to come. So just keep an eye on Twitter for that as well. We will have Wild Space next Monday, and hopefully have some video games streaming in the meantime. I know at some point in the next 7 days, probably not until Sunday, we're going to do some Sea of Thieves streaming. A couple of us have gotten the game. Really looking forward to playing it. I'm really sad that I'm not going to get to play it tonight/tomorrow. So yeah.
You get to fight Krakens, Sean.
Let's
do this.
So anyway, that's going to be.
It's going to happen 100%.
But like I said, keep an eye on, follow us here, follow us on Twitter. You can get all the announcements on that. That's all I got now. I'm sure there'll be something else later that I should have said that I forgot. Thank you everyone for watching. Yes.
Thank you to our new followers.
Thank you to our new followers. Thank you to everyone that contributed to the game and gave our lovely players Maelstrom surges and the like. So I'll leave it at that. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night.
Good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.